You are watching Forbidden Knowledge TV.
Thank you. I'm gonna drop this down a little bit so I'm in the frame better. How you doing?
Amazing, amazing. Always a pleasure, always a joy. I'm in Athens, Greece. I'm surrounded by amazing vibes. I'm in a bit of a vortex of manifesting a lot of beautiful things. My vibe is up. I sleep very little like you right now, and I'm feeling fresh. I'm feeling good, and it's been amazing. How are you over there?
Man, it's great. It's phenomenal. I was just outside working on a couple things. I can't really complain, man. Everything is doing what it's supposed to do, and even the things that seem to blindside you and throw you on this, make you feel like, oh, if things are gonna get bad. I just realized, no, everything is still going good.
Yeah. There's a big plan.
Yeah,
There's a
exactly.
big macro plan for sure, and we just gotta enjoy the ride.
Yep, absolutely.
I was talking to my therapist today. It's good to have a therapist, just chat. And I'm usually the best client my therapist has, I think, patient or whatever. And I said, look, some things have been happening to me, and they're like just I can't find ways to explain them, like synchronicities and dates, and he just said, look, just enjoy the ride.
That's it.
He usually helps me figure out things. It's like just enjoy that. Don't think it too much. You're gonna think it. You're gonna start associating things. You're gonna
Mhm.
start digging deeper. You're gonna make references in the past. Some of them that might not be useful for you. Just enjoy it because with all the therapy, psychotherapy, and everything, we know so little. And the purpose of life is what? To figure out everything. Well, why is this
Mhm.
happening to me? And get all the details, or just go with it, right, Billy?
Just go with the flow, man. Sometimes, sometimes things gonna looks like everything is going great, and something's gonna come and try to derail you. I had something that tried to happen to me just about an hour ago. Something came. I was doing some work, and then I saw something online, and I'm like, oh, come on. And so it tried to derail my thought for the day, and I said no. That's why I stopped. I said no, 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 no. I'm not going to let this ridiculous thing that I just saw somebody post on YouTube about me destroy my day. I'm having a phenomenal day. I got back my brain heart coherence. I just realigned myself. I took some deep breath. I sat back in my chair for a second. I went back outside, and I just continued to do what I was doing. And I said, that's it. I'm only going to focus on positivity, great things, excellence. Everything's going to be phenomenal. Talking to myself positive affirmations. And then within a couple of minutes, it was all gone. The feeling, the emotion that it was trying to draw out of me, gone. Just enjoy the day. Smell the roses, man. We got too many bigger things to do than the little things that are out there trying to just get our attention.
Absolutely, absolutely. I have an amazing acting coach here in Athens, and he's one of the students of Stella Adler. I just met him through synchronicities. Now, Bob Proctor, my mentor, 10 years ago, he gave me a book to read, one of his favorite books, and it's The Art of Acting by Stella Adler. And what are the odds, right? And he said something, and I think he was quoting Robert De Niro in one of his classes. He says, "You gotta let go." You see, he said, "You gotta work hard, and you gotta let go of your little life." That just makes so much sense, like what's the little life?
Hmm.
Everything, everything
Yeah.
that they want us to agree upon and to live, like, go to work, then go and watch Netflix and go and do this and go and do that. What they want us to do is the little life.
Hmm.
And the big life, well, it's up to us, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's where you project your consciousness. It's all about where you're focusing on going. And what I learned from studying a lot of these ancient tablets is that these people in the distant past, no matter whether their agenda was good or bad, these people, they planned for millennia ahead. They didn't plan for what's happening tomorrow and next week and next month. They were planning for millennia of generations. Legacy, what you see behind me, legacy, right? And
Yeah.
so I started switching my mindset. I need to go into legacy planning mode, because when you go into legacy planning mode, the little tiny things, man, you don't even, like today, I just, oh man, took my little breath. Okay, that's over. And you keep on moving. Another person might have let that steam up inside of them, let it stew, start focusing on it, and then let it drive them for the rest of the day. And then the big picture gets shrunk down to a very small picture. And so what I realized is, man, by projecting out your consciousness, thinking big, thinking into the future, how many generations can this knowledge effect? How many generations can I directly be a part of helping them ascend? How many generations can I be a part of helping them with financial literacy? And those kind of big thoughts will help project your destiny, your reality tunnel. And these little things that try to come in, man, and end up being puny, they end up they can't affect you. They can't stop me. There's a momentum that I have right now that I feel like there's nothing that can stop me because I'm on the right track. I'm helping a lot of people. I'm doing positivity in the world, and I'm projecting my own reality.
Yeah. I want to ask you something, Billy, because I started the live just saying that we are brought up with a lot of lies, I would say, things that are not true about ourselves. What are some from your discoveries, you know, what are some things that are holding us back as humans? Because I know you talk about our potential right here,
Yeah.
and then even the people that do personal development, like most of the time, even myself, I just look at myself like my energy sucks right now, like my vibration sucks right now. It's such an effort in the beginning to create that good vibe. What are some of the things that, let's say, are holding us back because of our upbringing?
Well, I'll tell you, the upbringing is a huge part because of the programming. So as soon as you're born, you're given a name, you're given a race and a religion, and then you spend the rest of your life defending a false identity, okay? And that encoding is coming in. So they did a study on children. And so from the first 7 years of their life, everything is coming in like a sponge, absorbing everything like a sponge. All the programming, all the information, all the teachings from the parents and the outside world, the TV, everything they're interacting with is setting up their whole future life after the age of 7. And so what happens is we have taken in all this program, we've downloaded all this programming that is really already programming us to be negative-minded. We're already programming the darkness into us from the age of 1 to 7. So now, as we gotten older and we're realizing that something's not right with this and we're trying to flip and think and be more conscious, be more positive, we find that it's actually easier to be negative than it is to be positive. Having a positive mindset, trying to be a person that's influencing in a positive direction, having unconditional love for people, forgiving people and all, that's hard. It's hard in the beginning. It becomes easier once you make it a part of your new programming. But in the beginning, the body wants to default back to the initial programming code, the code that was written into the DNA and the RNA from the age of 1 to 7. And even then also the epigenetic memories that are already stored in us from our ancestors, which can go 15 to 20 generations back. So we're fighting all this negative programming that's already built into the avatar body, and we're trying to supersede it. We're trying to recode it. And so it becomes a big problem. So a lot of the things that are holding people back is the programming that they had when they were conceived and the programming from years 1 to 7. It's so hard to snap out of that for a lot of people because it really is heavily ingrained into the structure of the actual body itself and the consciousness. And it takes a real true effort. It's almost like if somebody is addicted to a particular drug or alcohol, they have to first admit they have a problem. And then after they admit the problem, then they have to work very hard to change that behavior. And it's the same exact way with consciousness and darkness and trying to move over to the light.
Billy, is it a case for like living in solitude for a while? I know you study some of the biggest, you know, leaders and minds of the past, and maybe you can talk a bit about who you've been studying. And from what I know and from what I've seen on your videos, many of them have went on journeys, and many of them have lived a good part of, you know, their journey in solitude. Do you think we can actually change while living our normal day lives, going to the subway, you know, like going to work, and then maybe have like an hour for that? How do you see what's a good way to do this, and what's the way to do this if we are, you know, still pretty much stuck in our environment?
Yeah, it becomes pretty tough when we have all these distractions because we have our everyday life and the system that, the matrix system that's been put on top of us, this financial matrix, so to speak, which has to, you know, we have to do work, we have to exchange energy just to get food in our mouth now, right? So it becomes very difficult. Now, in the ancient times, they had plenty of time. Gurus and sages would go away. They would escape, they would go away, and they would be secluded, because when you're secluded and you're by yourself, you have time to reflect. You have time to transcend dimensions, and then get a full picture as to what's really going on and see things from a totally different perspective. You can even do thought experiments. You have all the time in the world to do those things. In this modern, or what we call modern era now, we have all the distractions, right? We have the kids, we have the job, we have the bills to pay, we have to go do this, we have to go do that. We got all these scenarios and things going on, especially if you're an entrepreneur, you're busy nonstop. But what we have to do is we have to take that personal time. Just like everything is on our calendar, I got my alert 10 minutes ago. Oh, I got to go live today, you know, with Law of Attraction, right? We have to schedule in some me time, some you time in our calendar where we know that during this particular time, this is it. There is nobody else coming in. There is no distraction. I'm going to be over here. I'm going to go in my closet and close the door. Whatever it is, you have to get some of that me time at least 2 times a day, preferably 3. That's why I do my meditation Mondays on YouTube live. I do them at 6 a.m. early, before all the brains are up and all the energies are up in the universe and everything else down here. I try to go early, get people before they get ready for work, before they get in the shower, get their kids off to school, get them in there, let them get that me time in. And then if they can break away one more time, even if they go sit in their car for 20 minutes, instead of taking a full 1-hour lunch, maybe they take a partial time. They take 20 more minutes out of that lunch. They sit in their car, drive somewhere and park, close the doors, everything, just relax and meditate for about 20 minutes. I think that just those couple of meditations a day will hugely change the way they perceive the world, the way they perceive themselves, and how they respond and react to situations going on.
Yeah. Billy, we got a question from Arvin. He said, like, what's with all the cycles that happen in life, in the economy, for example? Like, it seems like there's 10, 20 years of, let's say, prosperity, and then something happens, and then there's another period of prosperity. Can you talk a bit about this?
Yeah, everything happens in cycles. We're living in a cyclical universe. And so the universe, what we see now, everything from the massive, large, down to the microscopic, we see cycles in everything. Cycles of birth, cycles of death, you know, cycles of joy, cycles of pain, turmoil. We see empires rise, we see empires fall. So the Atlantean priest king from the land of Cam, he talked about the fact that he would literally watch civilizations rise and fall on different planets. He wrote these tablets. And so this obviously is clearly a cycle. The Indians, you know, from India, they talk about the Yuga cycles. You know, the Kali Yuga, the Tetra Yuga, and so forth. And right now, I believe that we're in the Tetra Yuga, which is the bottom half of a silver age, heading back up towards a new golden age, which approximately could be somewhere around the neighborhood, in my estimate, about 10,000 years away. Sounds like a long time, but it's a very short time in geological time scales. 10,000 years is less than a blink of an eye, okay? And so, you know, it's these cycles that really exist. And so there's also these miniature cycles within our own economic systems. Like, we know that around 2000, there was a mini collapse because the year changed from 1999 to 2000, all right? Then all of a sudden, you know, another 8 years later, you know what's going to happen. Something else is going to come. What happened there? Real estate collapse comes. Okay, that collapse happened. Now we know, okay, wait a little bit longer, we had another thing coming. This new situation we just had on the planet where the whole planet shut down. And after this one is gone, guess what? In about 5 to 8 years, another one's coming. And so there's these cycles that just occur because you have this ebb and flow of yin and yang. And yin and yang permeate the entire universe. Yin and yang permeates the financial markets. It permeates your body. It permeates every atom, every system, every conscious system, every light wave in the entire universe. And there's no way to escape it. You can't get out of it. Now, what you can do is you can't fight darkness. You can't fight evil. What you have to learn how to do is control it. You have to learn how to control it. And then once you can master controlling it, then in your reality tunnel, you can sustain a better track. Instead of your, you know, your chart, let's say, going like this all the time, you may be able to sustain a chart that's going like this, your conscious chart, kind of, you know, moving like this, and your evolution and what you're trying to accomplish, what you're trying to focus on is steadily increasing. Even though there will be some bumps in the road, it's not like, you know, a roller coaster. But that takes a lot of conscious thought, understanding that darkness is coming, and when it comes, how will you handle it? I like to think of it as judo. And judo is a martial art where you actually use your opponent's energy against them. So when the darkness comes, how can I flip their energy back on darkness? And that's, a form of alchemy, really.
That's very interesting. So let's say we have anger issues, or let's say we have, in many cases, anxiety now, in many cases, fear, right? Primordial, like basic fears, the fear of death is proponent right now, fear of uncertainty. What can we do to let's say, reframe them and let's say turn this darkness into something that can sustain our growth in our consciousness?
Yeah. The first thing the person needs to understand is that they are already eternal. Every single one of us is eternal. So that gets rid of the fear of death already. Death fear, gone. Okay? My fear of death is gone a long time ago. I didn't need any religions to make me not fear death. Matter of fact, religion makes you fear death even more because you're scared. Did I do enough to make it? No. You already made it. You're already there. You're only seeing this reflection of yourself in this third dimension, literally an actual reflection of who you truly are. This is not you. You're already in eternity. You exist in eternity from the very beginning of the beginnings. So once you get that understanding, you really grasp that, death, fear, whatever. There's no more fear in the death. That's over now. But what people have to really begin to realize is, you have to focus on being of service to others. That's going to help you with everything. When you start creating and generating this positive karma, and you start being of service to others, you start trying to, how can I help these people? How can I do something over here that helps this person? How can I help this group? How can I be in a position to be of help to somebody? That's why I believe financial literacy is so important in this time, because we are in the financial matrix that's not going to go away that fast. It's evolving and changing all the time, but it's going to be here for some time longer. And if you're in a position where you can barely feed yourself and your family, a lot of the times helping people sometimes requires the exchange of money. So that requires the energy exchange for the money. So if everybody in the conscious community is financially suffering, our ability to help one another becomes restricted, and they know that. That's why they have us like this. So I think financial literacy, being of service to others, and understanding that you're already eternal, that's going to clear out half your problem.
I just remember the quote by Yogananda Paramahansa, who wrote the autobiography of a yogi. Very famous book. I know Steve Jobs was one of his favorite books. And he said, death is like 1,000 orgasms at the same time. What did other big thought leaders that you've studied maybe said about death or the fear of death and so on?
I hate to keep going back to Thoth, man, but this guy, he talked about death a lot in the book, in his Emerald Tablets. He talked about the fact that it's only a passage to the light. It's only a transitionary stage to get to the light. And once you pass across that plane of existence, you actually end up at the gates. Not the gates of heaven that people are thinking is this magical gate with this golden castle, but the gates that are actually guarded by people, these stargates, these multi-dimensional stargates. And he even gives you the code of a ruler with everything to get through these gates. But he talks about the fact that death is a part of life, and the true master, the true ascended master, actually can incarnate at will, learn to incarnate in and where and on the plane that he or she actually desires. So he's talking about the fact that not only do we have the ability to be these conscious beings that can assist and help in people in need, transfer our consciousness into other avatar bodies, but we can also decide when we're going to incarnate, and that's part of the Kriya Yoga, really. You were just talking about that. You believe that you can actually incarnate at will. You can leave this avatar, send your light vessel back to source, and come back somewhere else, anywhere in the universe. You can be any race, any gender. You can be any being. But that really takes a lot of focus and practice. So my ultimate goal, to be quite honest with you, is to be able to achieve the ability to incarnate at will in and on the plane that I actually desire. And I think it's a powerful thing to really, study. And that's why I've been researching it for so long.
I love it. Billy, what about the fear of poverty? Because that's another big fear that people have. And I would say half the questions we get on Law of Attraction Live are about, oh, how can I manifest more money? But usually the way I see it, the way I see the questions are like, how can I do it fast? And it really comes from a place of lack. So how do we deal with this type of fear, and how do we build the mindset around prosperity, let's say?
Yeah. The first thing we have to do is people who are struggling financially have to stop talking about it in a way that's promoting the struggle. In other words, they are victimizing themselves as being struggling financially. Those frequencies that they're generating are keeping them in the same state that they're already in. Man, I can't pay my bills. Man, this sucks. They're holding me back. Man, I'm broke. You'll never in a million years hear me say I'm broke. I don't care if I have 1 penny left in my pocket. You will never, nobody would ever hear me say that I'm broke. I'm always abundant. I'm always rich. I'm always wealthy. Doesn't matter what's in your pocket because the universe is abundant. The universe is unlimited abundant. So whatever I need, my needs are going to always be met. It's a flip of the way you think about things. So people are walking around and telling people, they're calling people on the phone. Can you believe they just repossessed my car? This and that just happened to me. I'm broke and this and that. All they're doing is talk. They're speaking spells. Every time you talk, you're casting a spell. Even when you pray, you're casting a spell. It could be a good spell or a bad spell. But the problem is you're casting a spell. That's what it's really doing. You're trying to say words that are going to alter the future reality in the third dimension. That's casting a spell. And so what happens is people are speaking these things, they're casting these spells on themselves, and they can't understand what's going on. The law of attraction is very incredible because it works in both ways, high frequency and low frequency. So people that always have a bad story, always sad, always broke, always struggling, they always have those same stories when you contact them or they contact you. They never have good news. So the best thing that I do right now is I block people who always call me with bad news. I don't want to hear the bad news anymore. I know that things are going crazy. I know you're having some problems, but every time, if you can't call me with any good news, don't call me again, okay? And so we have to change that mindset. We have to start flipping it. Yes, okay, I evaluate my situation. Okay, my bills are due and I'm struggling financially, or my bills are paid, but I want to achieve more and I just can't get over that hump. So the way to think about it is, okay, I need to be able to go to the next level financially. Let me start setting myself some goals. Let me start figuring out how I can maneuver. What else can I do to generate an additional stream of income? Start thinking in those ways. And when you start thinking like that, all of a sudden the universe starts bringing little things to you, little ideas, little downloads, little people into your life that have great ideas, people that can connect you to another opportunity, or maybe even a better company to work for. But when you start thinking positive, okay, I really got to make this a goal. Within the next 6 months, I need to be this much more established in my life financially. I need to have this much more knowledge of the financial markets. That's why I wrote this book. And I wrote this book, Woke Doesn't Mean Broke. It's a financial model. This is so that people can go through this and say, you know what? I need to know every month. I need to learn something new so that I can better myself here. And all that focusing on the positivity, all that focusing on educating yourself on finances, all of a sudden your finances are going to start to evolve and change on their own because you put the energy into it.
Yeah. What I think happens also, Billy, a lot of people get on a good frequency, you know, they get on a good path, and then they're like, okay, and they want to pull everyone from their former peer group, all their friends, and usually from a desire to help, they want to pull them with them. And in many cases, that's not a good idea. Can you tell us about what happens usually when you change in relation to your peer group, and what's a good way to deal with? Because there are some people like, you know what, there are better ways for me to get a better money consciousness and prosperity consciousness and instruments to get there. Yeah. And then they go and they share it with their friends so they all can get rich. And, right?
Can't do it. You can't do it. Listen to me, guys. You can't do that. Not everybody's meant to be on your journey. And it doesn't mean you don't love these people, okay? I grew up in a very rough and tough and tumble neighborhood. Drug dealers, crackheads, pushers, pimps, the whole work, right? And so now I knew these people. They knew me and they respected me and I respected them, you know? But there's no way in the world that I can incorporate those people into different things that I'm accomplishing and doing now. They're on a different level consciously. Now, let's just take it as your normal everyday friends that you have. Well, you look at the 5 friends you have and divide their income, you know, and by 5, and you're going to get your average income. And so you got to realize, okay, I'm around people that are making 10,000 a year, 15, 20, 50, 100, whatever the number is. If that is not enough for you to build your legacy on, if that's what you're all about, building your legacy and taking care of future generations of your family, if that's your priority and those income levels don't really aid you with that, achieving that goal, then you have to realize I got to step outside of this circle, and I have to build myself a new circle. It doesn't mean that I don't love these guys. It doesn't mean, or girls. It doesn't mean I don't care for them. But what it means is I need to move in a different way through this matrix. I'm going to have to leave them behind, and not in a way where I'm forgetting they exist, but they can't come on my journey with me. I got to make new connections, new networks. I got to run into new people that are on the frequency that I'm on for the things that I'm trying to achieve with abundance and prosperity. And those people are going to have, guess what? They're going to have all the other great ideas to give you, and they're going to become your best cheerleaders. They're going to be the ones egging you on. The friends that you're trying to pull, they want to come along for the ride, but they want to pull you back at the same time. And when you get a couple of dollars, they want to do this. Hey, give me this. I remember I had family members doing this to me every 5 minutes. And it came to a point where I had to say, look, I got to stop this because, you know, I love you guys, but I mean, I'm not a bank, you know? I'm going to show you how to fish and catch your own fish so you can eat. You know, you have to learn how to eat for yourself as well. And you're going to help people, and I still help people, but at the same time, there's a certain level of abuse that can happen with friends and family. You have to be aware of that too. And they want to see you do good, but never better than them. So it's a very tricky combination of things. And a lot of times, you just have to say, look, you can love me or you can hate me. I got to move over here because I'm building something for me and my future. And because of that, I need to be in this position over here. And you have to just let that go, man. You can't forget. You can't worry about it. You can't make it have it stress you out. You just have to say, look, I need to move forward. And that's the only thing that matters right now, moving forward. And when you look back, you'll see the majority of those people in the same position or worse. And you realize you made the right decision.
Yeah. And some people say they want to go along because, you know, if it's profitable, everyone wants to get in. But very few people are really committed to do what it takes. And we both know it's not like a parabolic journey. It has its ups and downs, you know. And we have to have the mindset that, you know, it's going to all be great, but we also got to prepare for the downs. Because they're going to come, the tests of life, let's say.
That's right. It's going to come. It always comes. It always will come. And those tests, I used to see them in the very beginning as, man, I'm taking a loss. But now I realize the L doesn't mean loss. The L means learn. I'm learning. And so I see each one as a learning opportunity, and I'm building on the knowledge base. So now when those things come, I have the knowledge base, and I can handle those things a lot faster, a lot quicker, or I can prevent them from happening the next time.
Absolutely, Billy. Do you have any projects, any resources that you'd like our audience to learn about?
Yeah, absolutely. I have a phenomenal workshop coming up January 8th and 9th. It's a 2-day virtual event. Now, I did these the last 3 years in a row. It's called the Manifest Destiny Workshop. The last 3 years, every single one sold out. 2 years ago, the previous 2 Januaries, I did them live in person, and people would fly from all over the world. Now, obviously, with this situation, I did it virtual the beginning of this year, and now we're going to do the one virtual 2022, but I added another level. It's the Manifest Destiny Virtual Retreat. And so it's not just me now. It's a 2-day, 12-hour virtual event. We have Cyber Yoga, who's going to come and teach the science of meditation through yoga, how yoga affects the cells in your body, what is yoga, and we're going to take you through actual yoga poses to get you into the yoga meditation. We have a meditation guru who's going to come on cruise. He's going to come on and teach several different types of meditations and take everyone into these meditations. My sister, who's a 4-time world champion natural bodybuilder, is going to do fitness hacks, bodybuilding hacks, and exercise hacks, ways to get in shape fast and stay in shape, especially since it's the new year. People have their new resolution. Then we have a mental health and a neuropathic doctor coming on to talk about different healing modalities. And we have I Am Surviving Vegan. Orisha Oshun is going to come and talk for about 3 hours on health hacks and food hacks, which she's phenomenal. She's a influencing sensation right now on TikTok and Instagram. I Am Surviving Vegan. She's going to bring in some really good. It's not about being vegan, but it's about understanding what you're putting in your body and how to control what you put in your body. How what you put in your body affects your consciousness. And then I'm coming with all new science, all new interactive study, all new interactive tools that I'm going to be doing back and forth with the group of people that are attending the virtual event, and all the manifesting and abundance techniques, all new science this year, January 8th and 9th next year for the Manifest Destiny 2022. And the link for that is in the bio on this account, or they can go to 4billionknowledge.com and click on workshops, and they can sign up there.
Billy, before we go, and thank you so much for all the amazing knowledge you shared. What's your secret to stay and look so young?
Well, I try to smell the roses. That's the most important thing. I try to enjoy life. I noticed about maybe 4 years ago, I was starting to look like I was aging a little bit more. And I had noticed a correlation between the colloidal silver that I stopped taking and my aging. So colloidal silver, I took two vases with roses. In one vase, I put just regular water, tap water. The other vase, I put colloidal silver. The one with the colloidal silver, those roses lasted 3 weeks before they started wilting. The other ones only lasted 1 week. And I realized that putting that in my body will help rejuvenate me and extend my lifespan. I learned this from Thoth. Again, the Atlantean priest king from Atlantis, he brought this to the people, the colloidal silver and the monatomic gold. So I take a mixture of monatomic gold and colloidal silver, which I sell on my website. And I've been taking it now off and on for almost 20 years. But I could tell when I'm off of it, I start to feel like I'm aging. And when I get back on it, I get revitalized. It's amazing.
That's amazing. I think your oldest son is my age or something. I'm not sure how old he is.
Which one?
Your oldest son?
Oh, Justin. Yeah, Justin is 21. Gonna be 22 in a couple of months. Yeah.
I'm a bit older, though. But yeah. Amazing.
My oldest son is 31. I have a 31-year-old.
Yeah.
My daughter is 20. My daughter's 30. My 31 is my son. My daughter's 30. My other daughter's 27. My other son is 26, and Justin is 21. Going to be 22 soon.
That's amazing. You're like in your mid-30s, Billy.
Oh, man, I appreciate it, man. I got 4 grandchildren. I got 3 grandchildren and 1 on the way. One is one of my daughters, a 27-year-old. She has her first baby in the oven now.
Oh, many blessings, Billy.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm very happy for you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much for tuning in, and please come back soon because our audience loves, enjoys, and really needs your knowledge.
Hey, man, I appreciate you. Thank you for taking the time, man. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to everyone here.
Thank you so much, Billy. It's always a pleasure and an honor.
All right, cool. Catch you later.
Catch you later, Billy. Have a great week ahead.
You too.
And guys, look, we're going to have this saved in our Instagram TV section. So if you want to review it or share with a friend, I think it's going to also be on our newsfeed. Now, something happened to Instagram. I'm not sure what happened, but I don't see the archive. They changed some things that I'm not seeing the past archive or about Instagram Live. Hopefully, I'll be able to bring it back, but this should be saved as the most recent IG Live we've done. Thanks so much for tuning in. And if you have a question for me, if you want to connect, my profile is @Tiberius Live. You can add me there. If you have a message, I get the messages directly there. Here, we're a bit overwhelmed with the messages, so I'm not reading all of them, but yeah, we can connect there. Hope you enjoyed it. Take some information and put it into practice. Share with a friend, and I'll see you again very, very soon. Many blessings.
Hi, I'm Billy Carson, researcher, speaker, and best-selling author of the Compendium of the Emerald Tablets and Woke Doesn't Mean Broke. I'm inviting you to join me on forbiddenknowledge.tv to enjoy hours of great programming. Learn the secrets of ancient Egypt, unexplained structures on the moon and Mars, financial literacy, holistic and healthy lifestyles. Go now to forbiddenknowledge.tv and get 3 days free. While there, you can enter to win a Rolls Royce. That's forbiddenknowledge.tv.